We have news on the lithium industry here in Arkansas, plus a congratulations to Senator Boozman with a new position in Congress this year. All that plus a lot more on this episode of the Arkansas AgCast, which starts right now.
You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Jason Brown and John Nickman.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Hey,
strangers.
Hey.
Look at you just doing here. Important work over there.
Man, I am always doing important work for the Bureau.
I know you. He came in. He went to a meeting yesterday in Northeast Arkansas, and he walked in. He sauntered into my office about 3:30 yesterday.
Do I saunter?
Apparently you did.
Sometimes. I said,
I'm known to saunter.
Wow, impressive. And he said, what? I said, I thought you went to a meeting in Northeast Arkansas. I can't believe you're here in the office after 3:30.
And I said, I'm a company man. And they pay my bills.
And he kind of put his hands on us like a superhero. He's like, I'm a company man.
Yeah, so if my boss or potentially one of our most valued listeners is listening, remember that.
So what you're really saying is you forgot something. You had to come back to the office for it.
Yeah,
so.
I need to talk to him.
You need to talk to me about the stories.
Yeah.
About the AgCast for today.
Anyway, I think most importantly, though, what is it? We're already in the middle of January?
Yeah.
And I have not blessed y'all's presence here on this show.
I know.
In probably over 30 days.
It's been a long time. I would say December. I don't know this for sure. I don't even know if we recorded on December 19th.
I don't think we did.
I don't think
that's
we
when
did.
I had the flu.
Yeah, so it would have been the week before, like the 12th or so.
Yeah.
So there's your 30-day mark.
Well, I did recover from the flu.
Yeah.
In case y'all were wondering.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that now that we're all in here.
A little bit of advice from somebody that's had the flu. You do not want it.
Yeah.
Do not want to get the flu. So if you can steer away from it. And I don't know if it's like my age now, being a little older, but I didn't think I was going to make it. Like, I can be kind of a weakling when I get sick, but man, that was. I think I told you I didn't get out of bed for 3 days. I don't really know what happened in that first week.
Oh man, I got it last year, and it was rough.
Yeah,
it was rougher than some other illnesses I've had.
And it took me at least. I don't want to get too dramatic, but it felt like 3 weeks just to get my energy levels back.
Yeah,
I just going to the store and coming back. I was like, oh.
If we were to bring Mary Louise in here, would she kind of tell us?
Well, she wasn't at the house for that week because
she
didn't
left.
want her to get it.
Okay.
So, whatever I
but
say.
She would tell us.
I don't have any witnesses except for the urgent care I went to. So,
but she would tell us it was rough on you too. I bet.
She probably wouldn't.
Okay.
No,
my wife always says that I'm the worst patient.
Yeah.
She's like, even a cold can drag you down, you know.
Mary Louise wouldn't give me any slack.
Yeah, there you go.
But she's in the medical field, so.
Well, she's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have similar situations. Our spouses are constantly around germs.
Yeah.
And so they also rarely get sick as a result, knock on wood.
But like when we came back from Christmas, my mother was watching my son for the weekend. Mm-hmm. She came down with a stomach bug. So we were worried that he was going to get it. So I shipped Mary Louise off again to stay out of the house so she wouldn't get it so she could go to work.
Yeah.
So I stayed with Anthony. Luckily, knock on wood, we never got it. But that was another reason I think we missed the podcast again. And then it snowed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Speaking of Christmas, I had a gift in my chair when I came in.
You did? Well, I wondered where this came from because I had this just sitting here.
It says to Jason from John. And I just want to tell you that you didn't have to do this.
I did not get y'all anything.
No, I feel very...
Mine says to Brian, but it doesn't have.
If it is what I think it is, it's going to be really weird because I thought about this the other day.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, I feel guilty. I'd like to tell you that I'm sorry.
But what is it?
Well, I guess we'll open it. My goodness, I don't know what to.
Is it a? Do I need to get a pen? Yes,
It's
it's
weird.
exactly
There's
what
a
I thought.
pen in here.
Exactly what I thought.
What do you have? Oh my word!
wow,
Would you
wow.
look
How
at
about
this?
All right, let's do it.
Would
Get
you
your
look
wallets
at
out,
this?
baby.
Wow!
That's a handsome man.
Wow!
This is going on my door.
This is legit.
You got to sign this. Man.
This black pen isn't going to contrast well with this black and white picture. So
You want us to wait until we have a Sharpie?
Yes,
in hand?
please.
My goodness, John, how thoughtful of you! How thoughtful of you!
That is-
here we are.
That
right
is.
here. Here we are.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying at all. Like literally last week, I was like, man, I should have got them. It would be so funny if I got them framed portraits of myself
you did
autographed.
not.
I swear to God, I did.
Oh, that is
Man,
hilarious.
Well-
man, we are entirely way too close.
It's good that we can read your mind then.
Buddy, I tell you, we have had this baked for a long time.
Now, Christmas has passed.
True.
Yes.
You're a little late, so
We're waiting on you to get back.
And plus, the days of me paying people to take my autograph are gone.
That's right.
As well as free autographs.
Oh, wow.
So,
New Year, New
Contrary,
Year.
Yeah.
John, it's Christmas every day. So
when I'm here, it's
I
Christmas
just
every
love
day.
that it's just like the autograph photos.
I
It
wish
used to
it-
come out
it's-
with the name and the whole nine.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
my
I'll stop
goodness.
by Wally World and get y'all some frames.
Well, I'd appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. That's for sure.
handpicked just for us.
So you can put that up in your office with all your real memorabilia and
Yeah.
stuff. Now,
I got just the
we
place.
will
for it,
really
so.
increase the value of his office with this for sure.
Yeah.
It may not match what you have, but
No.
Jason will go up a little bit.
I just want to see the looks on people's faces when they come in my office and they're looking around and they come upon this
A
photo,
framed photo
Signed.
of John.
signed frame photo.
Yes.
And be like, okay.
Yeah, that's my guy there.
I'm gonna have to put a note on it that says, "Yes, this is real. I didn't have to forge this. Like, is there,
That's
you're
good.
cranking out certificates of authenticity."
I am. I'm gonna have to get these certified. So yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, the lucky two people in the world that have a picture not yet signed.
I'll tell you, there were extras made in case you need to
They're floating around. this.
prolificate this.
Somebody with last name Cartwright might get a copy too.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, that'll be good.
Or Wright.
Oh my mouth hurts. That
Maybe a Donner might get one too.
that was worth every penny there.
I'm here to please. So I'm happy. To
We're
be a part
glad
of your,
for it. We're
your,
glad for it.
Your jokes.
I guess I should say obvious. It should be obvious at this point, but if you're listening and not watching, John gifted us a headshot, 8x10 headshot of himself, and a pen to autograph each one. So
For proof that this was a joke and not me, and I had nothing to do with this, that pen doesn't have a clip on the side of it. Plus, it's black. As detail oriented as I am,
you like to be.
yeah, I don't like to half anything.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
No, it would have been red.
So the pen gave it away, is what you're trying to say.
That was it.
Just the fact that I didn't know what was going on gave it away. But the terrible wrapping on your
Listen,
little
don't
envelope
judge the elves. The elves do what their best. Okay.
aren't you a little late getting home back from the North Pole?
Oh me. Well,
Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate it.
it's been a good kickoff to the year. It's been busy. It's been really busy. We had winter commodity meetings this week. You want to share a
We
little bit
did.
about that?
Winter commodity meetings was January 14th, so Tuesday. That just kind of a little background. Winter commodity division meetings, for people that don't know, is where all of our commodity divisions meet in one place, and where our policy development really begins for the year. So every commodity, from being biased here, specialty crops, all the way to beef and small ruminants, soybeans, all the row crops, dairy, get together and discuss issues that they feel as if Farm Bureau needs to address in the coming year with policy development. We'll meet again in the summer, and we'll kind of tailor those topics or see if there's any new developments.
Yep.
And that's where your policy topic books come. When you receive those in the counties, those topics have been developed in those commodity division meetings, and that's where we kind of get that information to help drive that discussion within the counties. So it was I think our big topic this go around was smoke management, residue management for row crops specifically. There's something coming through potentially as a new bill in the legislature this year within the state. So we had a big hot topic discussion on that across all divisions. I think raw milk was another discussion topic.
Yep, absolutely.
And then there are all a multitude of different things that come up in those, whether it's taxes or bridges and roads and you name it. So
even mentorship in one of the meetings that I was in.
Yeah.
A desire to sort of develop a mentorship program or something here. So
that would be good.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool.
But I guess for the most part, as our department goes, it's kind of our Super Bowl.
Yeah, no doubt.
We kind of pull out all the stops and kind of manage and administer that whole day.
Well, you guys did a wonderful job. It was a smooth event. It was well put together. It was really good.
It's always well attended too, so that's nice.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think I had maybe even asked for or teased the potential for fried chicken as the lunch, and that's what we had.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty much a staple. But I will say that the funny thing about it is we, at Farm Bureau fashion, we do the prayer and pledge before every meeting. But we didn't have flags in each division meeting. So John Bailey, not to call you out, boss, but gave us a slide of like an actually waving
It was waving.
flag.
I was in the first meeting. Did you help with that?
That was gifted by yours truly.
Hey, thank you.
Well,
Nobody said anything. I thought it was great.
I noticed it when I was in the meeting that I was in for the morning. The board liaison said, "Hey, let's all stand for the pledge," and I'm immediately what you do, got my eyes out, and he hit advance on that slide, and there was old waving Old Glory right there on the screen, and everybody just jumped in.
That's right, same flag that I use for our summer conference and our convention.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had an event earlier in the year last year, and flags were forgotten entirely for the stage, and so Bailey's like, "I don't want that to happen again. Can you send me a flag?" So
the only thing I will add to that as a complaint,
thinking.
being the diva I am, the video or the waving flag video was shorter than the actual pledge. So if we could get
I didn't even notice that.
Well, I mean,
it was fine.
It loops. You're supposed to set it to loop, so I didn't tell him that part.
Yeah, but I follow instructions, and if there's not any there, then I just kind of go with it.
I was wondering if it might just be the graphics card.
But other than that, it was great. I thought it was funny. I figured people would be like, nice flag. So nobody said anything.
Okay, well, I enjoyed it. I should have spoken up, but I didn't. That's all I am now.
I appreciate that I had to bring that up for you to say that.
You know what else is happening this week?
No, I don't.
The 95th session of the Arkansas General Assembly opened up on Monday. So if you're part of our I don't know what list this goes to, and that's probably my mistake, but we are sending out our public affairs government relations team is sending out an update, a legislative update every Monday and Friday. And I just pulled up the email that we sent on Monday that kind of gives some recommendations for communication with legislators, talks about our communication process, and talks about our legislative priorities, things like taxes, University of Arkansas Division of Agriculture funding, right to farm, rural Arkansas, poultry contracts, agricultural crop residue, smoke management guidelines, health benefit exemption, animal care, things like that on our list for the year. Certainly more going to be coming out about this. Like I said, weekly emails. If you want to receive instant updates and text alerts, you can text ARFB to 52886. But be on the lookout for that. I believe on Fridays it's going to be a recap of what happened previously in the week. Mm-hmm. On Mondays it'll be sort of a forecast or forward-looking at what's going to happen that week. We have discussed, I believe we're going to try and incorporate some of this information into the weekly AgCast as well.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for that. Perhaps that looks a little bit like how we treat the crop progress and harvest progress, crop quality harvest progress reports or some things like that.
That'll be here before you know
each week. Yeah, I know exactly. So anyway, just a shout out to our team there who's down at the Capitol advocating on your behalf, and really advocating based on policy and issues that have come up in these meetings that you just discussed.
Yeah, so. Yeah, they are doing the work that our current policy states.
Yep. So
that can't be done without y'all's input.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I will say, moving on, we talked about being off for a month essentially, but we were not off completely. We were off from the normal show, but we did still have deep dive episodes. So a couple there that I wanted to just bring your attention to. So if these haven't shown up in your feed somewhere, you can certainly go wherever you listen to podcasts and get them. These were deep dive episodes, so they're audio only. But we talked to Dr. Hunter Byram. Mm-hmm. I believe that may have been the conversation on the 19th of December. But he sort of gave us an economic overview of 2024. We've talked a lot about the financial situation and the negative financial situation for farmers. But he kind of talked to us a lot about how we got there, why we got there. But he also gave us a 2025 outlook and told us what to expect down to a crop by crop break even yield for the year, which is really staggering in some cases. I mean, soybeans was above 80 bushels per acre to break even.
He gave a presentation in our our soybean meeting the other day, and Dr. Jeremy Ross was there too. He talked about a kind of a production outlook or recap last year. One thing I did state at the end of their presentations was that looking at what the kind of year we had and the year we're looking at going into, I was like, I'm glad I didn't have to give those presentations.
Yeah,
it's as an economist, at some point you're going to have to do that because we're not always going to be at the top of the roller coaster. So, no, Hunter does a really good job.
Yeah,
and I think our membership really likes hearing what he has to say. And thank you for coming on our deep dive. Also, they they've got their own podcast.
They do.
Yeah,
Morning Coffee and Markets. I believe
think so.
It's called.
And they also have a newsletter. Him and Rod and Lloyd.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So check that out.
Yeah, give them a look. Also. Last week we had Jared Garrett on the show. I think that was last week. Goodness gracious. Jared came on and talked about avian influenza, sort of the state of avian influenza, not only in the country but in Arkansas. He had some great information on sort of what is that. There are a lot of folks that don't even understand what it is, how to recognize it in your flock, whether it's backyard or commercial. Some preventative measures you can take to prevent this from reaching your farm, and just a lot of helpful information there. So if you're interested in that topic, if you want to hear what Jared has to say, he oversees the poultry commodity division here, right? So worked directly in the poultry industry for a number of years before he came here. So he's a great resource for that.
Yeah, say what you want about Jared Garrett, but he knows poultry. I mean, 100%.
He does, and he gave us a great episode last week. Yeah,
you do know your stuff.
He gave us a great episode last week, and we're grateful for him doing that. The only other I had two other things to talk about here before we move into the news, and that is these U of A Extension winter ag production meetings. I just wanted to bring those up. They came up at the commodity meetings the other day. But there's actually one today in Greene County. The focus of that is technology. But there's still meetings in Miller, Little River, Lafayette, Cross, White, again, Greene County, and Clay County this month. So You can find all of the dates, locations, topics. We won't go into all that here. At the University of Arkansas Division of Ag website. I bet you can find them on their social media channels, so on and so forth. We'll go ahead and give you the dates for February when it gets closer to the end of the month. But for now, just know that there's one today, one next week, and then 4 on the 30th and 31st of this month. So
there should be some good ones. If you're in that area, I'd highly advise you going.
That's right. So there you go. And then lastly, the Arkansas Growing Conference, something that you're close to, coming up at the end of the month, January 30th through February 1st, I believe.
Yeah, we'll be in the Hot Springs Convention Center.
Yep.
I think you and I were looking at it yesterday. The 30th is kind of just a move-in date.
There's some content, but not a lot.
Some workshops.
Yeah.
The meat of the conference, no pun intended, is that Friday and Saturday, and they'll probably, as far as I know, they're going to be kind of, I guess, sectioned off with like this is going to be the fruit time of the day with workshops, I should say, and then vegetables. And I think Saturday, if you're a pecan producer, that's the day to be there too.
Yeah,
but they'll have vendors, big trade show. They also are doing a farmer's market like we do at our convention. So that'll be there. And also, you will be lucky enough to see the 2, maybe 3 of us. I don't know if Brian's going to be there. So we'll be recording on location.
Yeah, Friday the 31st at 10 a.m.,
something like
I believe.
That. Yeah.
In the trade show area there at Hot Springs.
Yeah.
It'd be a little deja vu from convention, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
There is, just to clarify, there is some content on Friday. There's a welcome lunch from 11 to 1. And then I think it's really interesting how they're doing this. They've almost got tracks set up. So there's a blueberry session that's got 2, 4, 6 sessions within it.
Yeah.
There's a grape and wine production session. This is all on Friday, just to clarify that on Thursday, just to clarify that there is programming. There's a tourism session and a vegetable session all on Thursday, plus a happy hour and reception and the lunch. So there's definitely some stuff going on Thursday. We'll be there Friday trying to squeeze in between morning session and lunch session.
Yeah, and if you want to attend, please register. You can go to, is it arkansasgrown.com?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can register for the conference there.
.org.
.org, sorry. And we'll be there. It should be a good time.
Yep.
There will also be there is a lot of focus on fruit and vegetable production, or pecans, tree nuts as well. But there will be stuff there for people who are selling, basically, or raising local beef or any type of animal protein too. So
yeah, all right. Well, good deal there. Let's get into it, I guess.
All right. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, I might be a little rusty, Jason, but I'm going to give it my best here.
You know what's funny? You know my dad's name is?
Rusty?
Yep.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
So, if I had to guess, it's been, since last year since we talked about lithium.
Sorry, I'm still thinking about a joke because I am a little rusty. All right, sorry. I quit. I'm very sorry. Standard Lithium. Let's roll.
I didn't say anything about Standard Lithium, but if you want to ruin it.
Yeah. I guess I did.
Like I said, if I had to guess, it's been since last year since we've had a conversation about lithium mining in Arkansas here.
Yes.
Would you would agree with that?
I would agree with that. Yes.
I figured you would. So I also would imagine some of our listeners have heard of the company Standard Lithium, Ltd. or LLC. No, it's Ltd.
Yeah.
Who has a Southwest Arkansas location called SWA Lithium LLC, who are dedicated to lithium mining. Well, they've made the news this week with an announcement that an energy leader, Equinor, did I pronounce that right? Have secured a $225 million grant from the U.S. Department of Energy to support Phase 1 construction of the Southwest Arkansas Lithium Project. The project is located in Lafayette and Columbia counties and is focused on becoming the world's first commercial-scale direct lithium extraction facility. Production is projected to begin in 2028, so we're a little ways off.
Yep.
And is expected to produce 45,000 tons of lithium carbonate annually across 2 phases.
I believe that extra N and E is metric. makes it metric.
Does it?
I think so.
Interesting. Sounds like a deep dive to me. Anyways, I should note that lithium is used to make batteries, specifically for electric vehicles. Depending on who you are talking to, of course, there are plenty of different opinions out there on electric vehicles. However, I should mention that this project has potential to deliver on some pretty positive economic impacts for the Southwest Arkansas area. The company projects to create 100 permanent jobs and 300 construction jobs. They also have committed to hire 40% of the workforce locally, which I think is huge.
Yeah.
The project also includes infrastructure enhancements, educational and healthcare initiatives, and workforce development programs that will benefit communities in the area. And if you want more information about this project or Standard Lithium in general, you can visit their website at standardlithium.com. And I should mention that this story was in the Democrat as well as the Arkansas Times today.
Yeah, they both have articles on this one specifically, but I would like to call out the fact that if you go back to issue 130 of Front Porch Magazine, which is our magazine, from 2024, you will be able to read much more about the lithium industry, burgeoning lithium industry in Arkansas. As a matter of fact, it was our cover story, and I believe that issue was put out in May of 2024. So it's a great story. I happen to be able to be on the back end of that a little bit, and it's a really good story that sheds some light on the lithium industry and sort of its development and goings on.
And that area of the state is it's not new to mining of any sort, right? Well,
right. Oil and gas traditionally, I think, is some. But
I can't think of what
this is meant to be. Well, the belief is, we're not projecting this, but the belief is
you heard it here first,
that they are on a set for a boon of sorts with lithium mining.
I think it'll be interesting to see. I think electric vehicles are. I don't know. I hadn't seen the numbers, but demand still seems to be there.
Yeah,
I don't see that going anywhere. Now, there's also thoughts of like, if everybody was to go electric, would we even have the power grid to support that? Yeah. And there's doubts on that. So, like, what my thought is, if it's 2028, what are the sentiments going to be at that point?
Yeah,
and will we have increased demand for electric vehicle batteries?
Well, I'll tell you, we are so far out of our realm of expertise, if we even have a realm of expertise.
I know what I'm talking about,
but I think what you are going to see is a continued reliance on battery power. For all things. I mean, look at the iPads, the computers, the lights, the everything. My mother-in-law texted my wife the other night and was like, "Can you believe there's battery powered or rechargeable light bulbs?" It's like, you kind of don't have to have a socket, I guess. And there's just all kinds of stuff that are operating on battery.
I will say that my biggest focus here, the thing I thought was the coolest as an economist, was the job creation. And the potential that the impact it'll have on that area of the state.
Yeah, that's right. In an area of the state that could certainly use it. Probably.
Yes, absolutely.
So, all right. Well, I've got an interesting one to share, looking at corn acres here in the natural state and how it compares to years past. Thanks to George Jared with Talk Business and Politics. Y'all hear us talk about his writing and work all the time. He wrote a story on this topic and notes that in 2024, according to USDA NASS, corn acreage in Arkansas fell 41% to 485,000 acres, harvested acres in Arkansas last year. Of course, you have to look at prices here as an indicator to the drop in acreage. In 2024, corn prices hovered around $4.20 a bushel, which would be nearly half of what prices were in the 2022 growing season.
Yeah.
And the news doesn't really look better for this year.
No, it doesn't.
Looking past the acres at production, yields actually did well last year with a state yield average of 186 bushels per acre. That was just 1 bushel short of the state record, which was set about a decade ago. Jared talked to Extension agronomist Jason Kelly, somebody we're certainly familiar with, who noted corn is an expensive crop to grow and input costs were high, especially when compared to other crops. He said seed and fertilizer are the top two inputs for a corn crop, accounting for about 40% of the cost in growing that crop. Jason Kelly said corn prices were around $4.40 a bushel in April when Arkansas farmers are usually planting. That price was $2.30 less than the price in April of 2023. To make matters worse, the September 2024, which is the harvest time period price, had fallen to $4.16 per bushel. So remember, we said $4.20 was the hovering, and by harvest it was down to $4.16.
Yeah.
According to Jared's reporting, Arkansas wasn't the only state to see a big drop in corn acres. In fact, 11 states, including Arkansas, saw corn acreage decrease more than 10% this year. Mississippi, Louisiana, and New Mexico also saw decreases of more than 30% in corn acres this year. Oklahoma and California, on the other hand, increased corn acreage by 15 and 10% respectively.
You know, I mean, we also saw soybean acres go up last year.
Which will make a difference, right?
Yeah. And it's all, like you said, it's all generated by price. But I've been having conversations especially during our winter commodity meetings. Like, what are you going to see planted more of this year? And you hear complaints about, well, you can't make any money growing rice because it's so expensive. But then the price for corn and soybeans, it's not there.
Yeah, I was going to say soybeans not very much better than corn.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking you'll see that acreage of corn go up from last year, but I don't know. It's a year where you're going to have to, as a farmer, look at where can you cut costs.
Yeah,
and there's all sorts of different places, right? You just you're going to have to be creative and weather the storm, and that's not the news you want to hear. I know, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, you know, I sat into some of that soybean meeting that you mentioned earlier, and Jeremy Ross gave a presentation. I'll butcher the name if I try and recall it, but Jeremy is the soybean agronomist for the state for the University of Arkansas, and Jeremy gave a presentation of 8 ways to optimize basically production from a cost and price standpoint.
Yeah.
And I text John during the meeting. I said, hey, this would be we had already been talking about getting Jeremy on the podcast. I said, this would be a great conversation for the AgCast, a great deep dive to have. So I think we'll put that at the top of the list.
Yeah, he did mention a few things, you could tweak here and there, but it all kind of came down to soil test.
Yep.
If you're applying,
understanding,
when it comes to applying fertilizer and stuff like that, be very consistent with doing your soil test, as well as irrigation. You've got like a lot of technology out there to be a little bit more efficient, or a lot more efficient in some situations, in how you're irrigating and how much water you put on. And a lot of it just kind of came down to the variety of the seeds that you're using too.
Yep.
And your spacing, and
seeding
your seed rate, and what you can get away with.
I was surprised to hear him say that.
Yeah.
The seeding rate conversation.
So, I'm not going to speak anymore on something I don't know enough about, on somebody that will give you a lot more information.
He'd wipe the floor with us, John.
He would. He'd be happy to do it too.
And he would, I hate to say this, but he'd win in a mustache contest.
He undoubtedly would.
I mean, I'm just saying, when he was, my back was, or his back was to me. And when he turned around to make a comment to somebody, I was jarred. I mean, it's like, goodness gracious.
There are very few people you see in the world with a mustache, and you're like, that doesn't work. There are individuals that can do it. There are individuals that can do it beyond anybody else. And I will say Dr. Ross crushes it with his mustache.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, shout out to him.
Yeah. Congratulations on your mustache.
I guess we'll have to send 2 invites. One for him and one for his mustache to come on the show. All right. Enough goofing off.
Yeah.
Let's take a little break here.
Let's do.
Are you tired of one-size-fits-all health coverage? Welcome to Farm Bureau Health Plans of Arkansas, where you're in control. As a benefit of Arkansas Farm Bureau membership, you could save up to 40% compared to traditional coverage. Plus, you get comprehensive benefits, can enroll anytime and access to Arkansas Blue Cross and Blue Shield's comprehensive network. Arkansas, we've got you covered. To join Arkansas Farm Bureau or find your plan, contact your county agent or visit arfbhealthplans.com.
All right, for my last story of the day and my last first story of the year, let's kick this off with a right to repair lawsuit that has come back out.
Oh man.
The states of Minnesota and Illinois, along with the Federal Trade Commission, have filed a lawsuit against John Deere, challenging the company's restrictions on farmers' ability to repair their own equipment. This is something that we're not new to by any means, but this is just a new development, another page in the book of right to repair laws. The 37-page lawsuit filed yesterday claims that Deere's practices have hampered the farmers and independent repair providers' ability to repair Deere equipment, forcing farmers to instead rely on John Deere's network of authorized dealers for necessary repairs. The document states that this unfair steering practice has increased Deere's profits on agricultural equipment and parts, growing its repair parts business while leaving farmers with higher repair costs. According to the Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, Deere has, and I quote, "Deere has made it virtually impossible for farmers themselves or independent repair shops to fully repair Deere equipment, which forces farmers to rely on authorized Deere dealers, which can be more expensive, slower, and for some, a long distance away from their farms. I'm filing this lawsuit against Deere to end their unlawful repair monopoly and make it easier for Minnesota farmers to afford their lives." It's pretty, he's dedicated, I should say.
Yeah.
The complaint also claims by creating these restrictions, Deere has unlawfully acquired and maintained monopoly power in the market for certain repair services for John Deere agricultural equipment. Like I said, Illinois was one of the other states. So Illinois Attorney General Kwame Rowell, if I apologize if I mispronounced that, I'm sure I did, was quoted saying, with the price of farming equipment continuing to rise, farmers should have increased flexibility to repair and maintain their equipment and not be forced to utilize expensive authorized dealers. I will continue to advocate for increased marketplace competition and stand for the rights of Illinois farmers. So those two attorney generals are clearly aligned. So with the increased computerization of John Deere's equipment over the past few decades, farmers rely on John Deere's interactive software tool called Service Advisor, with which John Deere makes available exclusively to its authorized dealers, according to the complaint. John Deere has long defended its technology as proprietary, only allowing access to its software and requiring repairers to use John Deere certified parts and technicians. This can be particularly frustrating for farmers, especially when equipment breaks down during critical times. Specifically, I'll use an example: springtime planting.
Okay.
That window gets shorter and shorter every year.
Yep.
Thus forcing them to endure delays of hours and even days waiting for authorized dealers. I should say that this particular piece I've given today I sourced from Ag Daily. And there's a much longer article. I kind of cherry picked information just to kind of sum it up. But it'll be interesting. You and I were talking about it earlier. We've seen lawsuits or complaints from states or organizations, et cetera. The Federal Trade Commission is involved in this.
I was just about to ask about that.
That's. I think this takes it a little bit. Not that it's not serious or wasn't before.
Yep.
But this is just the federal government's got interested in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think Colorado in 2023 or 2022, within the last 3 years, has also created a law stating that their right to repair law and that people should be able to repair their own equipment. I think Minnesota, and it's also in this article if you want to look it up, they have a right to repair law as well, but currently it does not include ag equipment. So for those of you who don't know, if you go to a mechanic in your hometown, they have a little iPad or computer software system that can work on your car. They can get into the computer and do that. In ag equipment today, you, the farmer, or as an independent mechanic, cannot access that computer software or technology. You can probably do some updates that you can pull off John Deere's website. At least that's the way it was when I was there. And you can take that GPS equipment apart to some extent and replace some parts. But for the actual software, and dialing stuff in, or man, think about like DEF. When the DEF system goes down on a tractor, it's down, man. Like, it'll really put a wrench, no pun intended, in what you're trying to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
well, I think it's fair to say that John Deere has certainly issued a response to this, and I think to an extent it's beginning to get a little bit of political looking at that. I know obviously the FTC is part of the current administration. There's an incoming administration on Monday. They may take a different stance on this. Well, how that all plays out is certainly I part of that. And
a lot of this, when it comes out, is always focused on John Deere.
Yeah.
And I'll just say that John Deere is probably one of the leading people in this area of ag equipment, especially with their technology and all of it integrated into that tractor in one manufacturer. Every ag machine out there, big equipment, has some sort of technology GPS on it. So they're not the only ones out there that are having this issue with right to repair. It's not just should not only be focused on John Deere, even though this lawsuit's on them.
Yeah. Well, I remember reporting on all the quote unquote large manufacturers when American Farm Bureau was signing MOUs for repair, or right to repair. All of them came into the mix there.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Well, rounding out today, news that we discussed before it was official, but want to officially cover it. And you may have seen it now, but we still wanted to make sure and cover it. But U.S. Senator John Boozman of Arkansas, the top Republican on the U.S. Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry, was formally named chairman of the committee upon the Senate's approval of its organizing resolution. As chairman, Boozman will establish the agenda of the Senate Agriculture Committee next Congress, which is already underway, I believe. According to a release from the committee, Boozman served as ranking member of the committee in both the 117th and 118th Congress. He certainly was a guest on this show twice as part of the 118th Congress, where he worked across the aisle to enhance food assistance programs and modernize USDA's summer meals program to permanently allow states flexibility to reach more food insecure children. He successfully fought for the economic assistance to help producers minimize market losses, helped elevate the importance of securing new export markets for U.S. agriculture commodities, and met with farmers, ranchers, and other stakeholders in more than 20 states to get their input as the committee crafts the next farm bill, which was extended for a second year as the CR was passed to round out 2024, a couple days before Christmas.
Yeah.
So from Farm Bureau to you, Senator Boozman, congratulations on your new leadership position for the Senate Ag Committee.
Absolutely. Well deserving. And I should also say, not only has he been awesome to work with here on the podcast, wanting to be on here twice, but every time we're up there or the organization's up there, he is always adamant to make sure he meets with us.
Yep.
And we really appreciate that, and our membership does too. And as well as your staff. Your staff does a great job too. So thank you.
Should make a big difference as we embark on crafting and approving the next farm bill in the year 2025.
Yes,
absolutely. So it be done. All right. Well, a lot to get through this week. First time back in a while, so we want to make sure and cover all the bases. But we can't get out of here without covering one last one. So. Been a while.
You act like you like.
Who said we had to?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I guess we could.
I know you have really missed.
Oh,
yeah. See, it's worth it.
But that's in my nightmares every other night.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
We're glad to be back.
I'm going to continue on with categories again.
Okay.
Unless you guys interject or something.
No.
General, arts, entertainment, geography, science. That's what's on the board right now.
Age before beauty.
Oh, well, how about that? General.
General it is.
You never know what you're going to get.
No, you don't.
I know.
From which part of the pig do we get ham?
How about that?
the back quarters. Right?
Yeah, I don't know what terms they're going to use. I was going to
back,
say
right, or left leg.
There you go.
Yeah, the
Hind leg.
hind leg.
Very good.
The hip,
Very good.
but-
I was going to say if you guys didn't get this,
yeah.
Have you seen people doing pulled ham, like a pulled pork butt?
No, I haven't.
No.
They take
Really?
like a honey baked ham or whatever, and
Oh,
they
wow.
smoke it.
Nah.
And I can't give you all the details, but yeah, they just pull it apart like it was pulled pork.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, now I'm going to have to try that.
No, but the other day I came across some old episodes. Have y'all ever watched that show, Barbecue Pitmasters?
Yes.
Johnny Trigg and Myron Nixon and all them are on it. So I didn't realize that it was old. I knew it looked a little old, but they were in a challenge. Johnny Trigg was actually one of the competitors, and that shows you how old it was, I guess. But they were given pork belly to cook. Ooh. Did not know what to do with it.
Really?
Did not know what it was. Johnny Trigg, and maybe they were playing it up for the, cameras, but he was like, I've never cooked this. I don't even know. It took him half the show to figure out that bacon comes from pork
I'd
belly.
be making homemade
Wow.
bacon.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. They actually split it and cooked part ribs, part not even burn it. Anyway, from barbecue guy, it was just interesting to see that cut. Is that new to us? I guess as novice barbecuers.
I will say, in their defense, it hasn't trying to buy pork belly in the grocery store. Was not available 5 years ago.
Everywhere now.
Yeah,
you can
it
get
is
it
now.
You can get it at your regular supermarket. You can get it at the warehouse stores. You can get it wherever now. So I don't know. Anyway, sorry for that diatribe.
Well, if I didn't know better, you guys were avoiding more questions. So
Well, it feels like that, doesn't it?
Did you know?
Did you know? Speaking of pork belly.
all right. So,
You're up next then.
Arts, entertainment, geography, science.
History isn't up there.
No, but I can refresh the board and see if I can find you one.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh,
Benjamin Franklin.
he's never one for taking what's on the table first.
I should have gone with general since that's where our luck was.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did the U.S. declare war on Nazi Germany?
You'll know that.
Was that 1942? No, that was the end of the war, right? Or was that the beginning?
It was.
Was it?
I'm trying not to Google.
I think it's 1942. Well, see, we declared
Close.
war on Japan first. That's what got us into the war. And then was it
Germany,
43?
yeah.
41?
He's all over.
You can just throw out numbers all day long. But
You got to pick one.
do you have a specific date in mind?
Oh, a specific
of that year.
Wow.
date. Well, D-Day was June 6th.
Look at you, man! What a history.
If we
And
declared
so-
war on Japan, when would that have been?
Oh, man, I don't remember when Pearl Harbor was. I don't.
It was
I
in
would say it's
December.
all within the same year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
he's all over it. 42. Just go with your first guess.
He said it was close
Okay.
when I said 42.
43.
It's 41.
So,
How about that?
I said 41.
December 11th,
You said December.
1941.
Yeah.
The U.S. declared war on Nazi Germany 3 days after declaring war on Japan and after Germany declared war on the U.S.
You know, I thought
3 days. Wow.
I always have a thought of what I don't know what the adjective I should use here, but a time in human history and to live during that
Yeah.
or through it.
Yeah.
The three of us in this room will never know what that was like.
Oh,
No,
I know.
sir.
To hear
I can't imagine.
to hear the interviews and listen to the people talk and hear stories from then, it's phenomenal and
And the things we
Scary.
take for granted.
oh,
Because
Because
entirely
of that.
Yeah.
Because of
Entirely.
what happened then. Yeah, exactly.
entirely.
All right. Give us a rundown of the refresh.
Okay, general, science, geography. I can refresh again.
General. I will do
General.
general again.
Okay. General 1 or General 2? Because I have 2 of them.
2.
What sport is Valentino Rossi associated with?
General 1. Soccer. I believe I'm hearing about him right now in a book.
Guess again.
Valentino Rossi.
Feels kind of Formula One-ish.
It could be Formula One. It could be tennis. It could be table tennis. Could be rugby. No, I don't think.
Just
It
go
could
with
be
it.
a lot of things.
Cricket maybe.
Cricket.
None of
Oh,
those.
How about that? All right.
None of those.
Squash.
Motorcycling.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well,
Have you ever seen the videos of the Isle of Man race?
no.
Oh man, there's at least like 2 or 3 people that die every year in it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It's
Oh, that's
crazy.
intense.
yeah. It's I don't remember what country it's in, but it's like those like derby car races, and they're in like a
Oh,
little
yeah,
1-lane
yeah,
road
yeah.
between hedges.
Yeah.
It's like that, and they're on crotch rockets going,
Wow.
well over 100 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
Those guys are nuts.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I will just say it's good to be back.
Indeed.
Here we go.
Yep.
Good
All
show,
right,
good show.
another year for the
I
AgCast.
think we'll survive.
Hopefully we can make it. Fingers crossed. All right, well, that wraps up the news for at least this week. Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're grateful for you taking the time to watch and listen.
Yeah, remember you can catch new episodes of the show every Thursday afternoon. Find video episodes on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the audio version wherever you listen to podcasts.
Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review when you have a few extra minutes. The Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau. I'm Jason Brown,
And I'm John McMinn.
and we'll see you next week.